working. There we go. We got the flag going. How are you? Hello, welcome. My name is Rusty Humphries. This is the Rusty Humphries Rebellion. How much your teacher's worth? We're going to get to that in just a couple of seconds. Also, from the same geniuses that brought you the Tide Pods, then everybody's got to listen to them and pay attention to them because they're the only ones that know about the Second Amendment. There's a new challenge they're into. I'll share that with you. And, the left is in outrage over a recent video, which they have a right to be outraged about, but we're going to talk a little bit honestly about it. Do me a favor, if you would, please. Would you check in? Will you let me know who you are and where you are a deplorable from? I want to say hi to you. I want to get to know you. I want to hang. By the way, today's show is being powered by Right Wing News. You can watch us on Right Wing News, also Liberty One TV, and you can hear me daily on the HearMeOut app. That's where I am a couple times a day. I give you the latest interesting things going on in the world, and I give you my thoughts, and it's very important that you follow me there. They're a great sponsor of the program, and even more importantly, is that they are a safety net for us conservatives because we cannot trust the liberal media, as we all know. I don't have to say that, but we can't trust the social media companies either. And because of that, we have to have a place to go where you could find me. Plus, it's a lot of fun. It's called HearMeOut. You download it right to your phone and follow me. Listen, and I'd hope you upload. And if you upload, I'll follow you too, and I'll listen to your comments. And it's a lot of fun. Okay, so if you do that, man, I would appreciate it. Let's see who we got there. Share the video and give me some thumbs ups right now. Share and give me some thumbs up. Let's see here. Steve is there. Jack is there. Crown Point, New York is Edward. Kitty's there. Connie, hi. Ryan, hey, Rusty, missed you. Missed you too, Ryan. Thank you. Johnny is in Muldrew, Oklahoma. Rodney is a Kentucky deplorable. Roger there, 60,000 to start. Oh, I guess that's what he thinks teachers make. Mike is in. What's up, homie? I don't know. What's up, homie? Frank is in Michigan. Hey, Frank. Pamela, deplorable in Tucson. John is in Vernon, Arizona. I don't know where Vernon, Arizona is. Mike there. Rossville, Georgia. That's Steve. Jonathan there. Danny. Rusty, I bet you sniffed too much glue. I didn't sniff glue, but I ate a lot of paint chips. Is that a problem? Let's see. Charles says, depends how much you think. The question I have up online, if you're listening to the podcast, you can't see it. I said, how much are teachers worth? There was a big to-do in Oklahoma today.
I want you to look at the scene behind me.
Let me bring you the video so you can see it too. A big to-do, teachers walking out. I've heard a couple of different things. One, that it was they're on spring break. Others say that it was a walkout. But let's take a look from MSNBC. The big teachers walkout in Oklahoma. And I will say a couple more hellos coming up in a minute, too. But here we go.
As you said, buses starting arriving a couple of minutes ago. You have hundreds of teachers, an estimated 30,000, according to the Oklahoma Education Association, that have just started a picket line around the Capitol building here in Oklahoma, demanding not only higher wages, but also $200 million in funding for their schools, and funding that they say has been cut in the past decade. You not only have teachers
Hold on. $200 million more dollars? $200 million more. We're not talking New York State or California. This is Oklahoma. Wow. Okay, again, I am what Fox used to be. We report, you decide. I'll tell you my opinion too. But let's get back. Let them say the thing. You comment. I want to know what you think. But let me get back. 200. That sounds like a lot of cashish to me. Here we go.
And you have families, you have children and their parents saying, I'm here for my teacher, I'm here for the future of Oklahoma. I have two teachers here, Melissa and Richard. Tell us about your own personal situation. What brought you here today, Melissa?
Well, I've been teaching public education for 5 years at U.S. Grant High School on the south side of Oklahoma City. I've got 2 master's degrees and $164,000 in student loans. I have 4 job titles.
Okay, stop. And as the great Vanilla Ice would say, collaborate and listen. She has 2 master's degrees. 2. And how much did you say she was in debt? Let me go back here.
$64,000 in student loans.
Hold on.
What brought you here today, Melissa?
Well, I've been teaching public education for 5 years at U.S. Grant High School on the south side of Oklahoma City. I've got 2 master's degrees and $164,000 in student loans.
Sheila says, what are your kids worth? Give the teachers what they need. Okay. She has 2 master's degrees and $164,000 in debt and thought being a public school teacher was the place to go. Now, I got to be honest. Okay, Maurice says some of them need $10 an hour. You call that teaching? These kids have no brains. They think they know everything but don't know blank but how to act a fool. Okay. Two masters and $164,000. I think I'll be a public school teacher. I don't know. Maybe, number 1, you don't need 2 masters. Maybe number 2, I don't know what her masters are in. Are they in something that where you could actually make money? Or was this just she wanted to stay in school and live the college life? I don't know. Carol says, our teachers in West Virginia walked out for 9 days, went back with their 5% teacher raise. Shar says, student loans aren't the issue of the taxpayers. Well, that's kind of the point here. All right, let's get back to Miss 2 master's degrees and $164,000 in debt.
I have 4 job titles at U.S. Grant, average about 60 hours a week, and without any extra stipends for my extra salary, I make about $36,000 a year.
I think she's a liar. I don't believe her. Okay? We'll continue, though.
A second or even a third job to make ends meet?
I do. I've actually been teaching at Oklahoma City Community College, also in South OKC, for 9 years to supplement my income. That income is what allows me to spend $3,000 or $4,000 a year out of my pocket on my students.
We saw last week that the legislature passed a raise of $6,000. What more would you want?
We need funding for the class.
Okay, looks like that's it for the clip. Okay. I always hear this. Well, I work more than 40 hours a week, and I have to put in money. I don't know. I do that and have done that my entire career. I've never worked 40 hours, ever. Ever. All the equipment here, nobody bought this for me. I don't understand this, but I went and did a little research. And I wanted to go and see. First, I want to type something else in before I do that. And you can watch me. Average income in Oklahoma. Okay. Kimberly's saying teaching degree is not the easiest in Oklahoma. You have to pass 3 state certifications. They follow you for a year. Not to mention 3 internships with 1 being a full semester. If you call that easy, good for you. Okay. Oklahoma's median income is $43,000 from 20 to 2011, while the median household income fell by 1.3% to $50,500. Oklahoma's ranking among states dropped from 45th to 42nd during the year, according to the report. Okay, that's not teachers, by the way. That is the average salary. The average person in Oklahoma makes about $43,000 a year. Okay, what are the average teacher salaries? Well, let's take a look, because this is important, and people don't want to talk about it, but I will, because I'm honest. Starting salary, $31,600. Okay, let's be honest. When I first started in the broadcast industry, it was free. I interned for free for 2 years. Okay? Now, again, everybody's different, but I wanted to be in broadcasting. Then it was $5 an hour for a couple of years. And that was out of college. I don't know who I would have had to murder to get $31,600 out of college. That is an unbelievable number to me. And it's not just $31,600. It goes up during other districts. You got $32,400, you got $31,700. Again, this is starting salary, $34,487, with an average salary in that district at $47,700. Again, the average income in Oklahoma is $43,000. Right? So the average teacher is making more than the average person in Oklahoma. But let's go one step further. And again, this is not picking on teachers, but teachers, I get this all the time, and I'm kind of tired of it. Let's talk about how much do you work. Now, when I was working at my opening job, which was nowhere near $31,000 a year, it was $5 an hour, maybe then up to $10 at one point. And then as I progressed and got better, I made more. If I didn't work, I didn't get paid. Okay? There was no 2 weeks off. It was hourly, good luck, Rusty, period. Okay? Even when you get going in the broadcast industry, there's no such thing as retirement. Believe you me. But I went and looked up, and I looked at a couple different places. How much do teachers work? How many hours? How many days? Now you could say, well, teachers work a few more hours. They take some stuff home. Yes, that's what most good professionals do. Okay, not everybody is fortunate enough, unfortunately, to be able to say, when I leave the door, I go home and that's it. We take homework home. Many of us do. Rhonda says, I've been teaching for 8 years. It's now up to $35,000 per year, and that's $600 a month. State insurance added in. My take-home pay each month is $1,700. I'm not trying to pick on anybody, okay? My problem is that our country and our states are in so much debt, and so much money is going to education. It's not trickling down to the teachers. It's getting stuck somewhere. It's not going to the teachers. But I also want to say, you guys knew it when you went in. I'm sure I'm making enemies tonight, but I don't mean to be, but I've got to be honest here. Okay, you're making $35,000 a year, Rhonda. I'm sorry, your take-home pay each month is $1,700. Is it also $1,700 for the 3 months that you get off? Well, it's not that much. Okay. How many work days per year for most people? It's 260 work days per year. Most people get 20 days paid vacation. 9 paid holidays. Many people with contracted work days, teachers get 185 days they got to work. Private sector professional workers with 10 years experience work 231 days. They also get usually 11 paid sick leave days or personal days, where teachers get 13.5. So work days, if all the leave is taken, your teachers get 171.5 days of work, where the average private sector professional workers with 10-year experience gets 220 days of work. Okay, that's a big difference. What is that, 50 days difference of work? Terrible in math because I went to public education and it was terrible. A computer does a better job. No, I don't believe that computer teaching does a better job. My daughter has done online teaching, and it's not very good. Linda says, I have a teacher in California. I was surprised to hear that they have to use their own money for supplies. What supplies? They're not buying books. They might have to put up a couple of decorations in the class. Now, I have a cousin. I almost thought about putting her on the show, but I don't want to fight with my cousin because I love my cousin. But she's like a big muckety-muck teachers union rep. And I'm sure she would disagree with everything I'm saying. George says, Rusty, you must be doing great. This is the third teacher I've heard of personally talk about money coming out of there and then blank. I don't know. Regina, my daughter works hard as a public school teacher here in Washington State. I'm not saying it's not a hard job. I'm not saying that the kids are ungrateful. I'm not saying that the parents aren't ungrateful. They are. But you did know it going in. It's not a surprise. And then let's be honest here. You guys have benefits the most of us don't. Okay, let's I'm going to go to another chart. In Oklahoma, as a teacher in Oklahoma, you gain access to health insurance benefits that include medical, dental, and vision plans. Once you're enrolled, you're able to choose from a variety of different plans. Blah, 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 blah. Additionally, the state of Oklahoma offers wellness plans and life insurance benefits to its public employees. I am not finding retirement benefits. Oh, retiring in Oklahoma. Once you are hired as a public teacher in Oklahoma, you're enrolled in the Oklahoma Teachers Retirement System. This system administers lifetime benefits to teachers that become available upon retirement. You're required to contribute 7% of your annual salary, while your employer contributes another 7.5%. Blah, 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 blah. Guys, there are not a lot of jobs anymore that have retirement benefits. I don't know what's going to happen in 20 years. I really don't. Let's see. Lisa says parents are paying for supplies. I know I sure got to pay for a hell of a lot of supplies every August or September. Can you bring 14 boxes of Kleenex, 3 boxes of glue sticks, 4,000 pencils? I mean, and the list gets longer and longer every year. Sherry says, I'm a retired teacher from Kentucky. I did not indoctrinate the students. Well, if you count teaching them to be conservative, then I guess I indoctrinated them. Gabriel says, I do that weekly, 50 to 60 hours a week, and spend way more than $3,000 annually in work expenses. I do too. Tina says they want enough money to pay their bills, have enough money or more to go on vacation, do whatever they want. They ain't got to borrow no money. She's got his master's degree. She shouldn't be up there asking for more freaking money. She makes enough to pay her bills. I don't mind paying teachers because all of them work very hard, but I don't want to pay their bills and because I don't make enough money to pay my own bills. Frank says in our district in Michigan, the average for teachers is $80,000 for 9 months of work. Wow. Randy says she's not lying. That's what a 5-year teacher makes in Oklahoma. Okay, a 5-year teacher in Oklahoma makes 40,000, but again I'm looking average salary $54,000 in one district, $49,000 average income $43,000. So they're right there with the average. Again, whenever I see the teachers say, well, I make $30,000 a year. No, that was the starting salary. Usually when they talk about salaries, it's almost always the starting salary, and it's the starting salary way more than most people get right out of college. Who thinks all of this is so funny? Tamara says, what do teachers do with the supplies that the parents pay for in the classrooms? I remember getting hand gel, tissues, pencils, crayons, 409s, wipe. Sherry says, in Kentucky, my highest salary was $59,000 for rank 1 and 208 college years. I was very satisfied with that salary. Marianne says, New York teachers earn the most. $31,000 on a 180-day pay schedule. And again, Scott, that is starting salary right out of college. I feel like I spoke last night working the late night at the gas station. I had to pay $1,200 to student teachers. All right. Anyway, a lot of you have been commenting. Thank you. Please keep your... Rusty, please put your salary out in the open where we can dissect it. I don't get paid by the public. I'm not taking taxpayer dollars. Isn't that different? See, I believe in a merit system. I believe good teachers should make a lot more, and bad teachers should make a lot less. And the problem is there's far too many bad teachers out there being protected by the teachers union because they just want to get as much money coming in as possible. That doesn't help anybody. John says teachers make a hell of a lot more money than soldiers. Why? Jabari says you're not counting the amount of time they spend grading papers. By the way, most of that stuff's done online now. My daughter hardly turns in any papers at all. It's all on the iPad, all of it. Linda says your numbers are wrong. We depend on teachers everywhere to teach our children. Who do you teach broadcasting? Use the lottery money, not just 20%. No teacher should have to pay for supplies for the classroom. Tom says most states require at least 180 days. Rusty, you are getting deeper and deeper. We're not talking about decorations. I'm talking about pencils, papers, pens. You don't know what. George, I never had a teacher give me pencils and pens. Ever. It was always, if you don't have your pencil and pen, Rusty, you're in trouble. And I was in trouble all the time. Nikki wants to know, how much did you earn last year? None of your damn business. Let's see. School funding has decreased 29% over the last 10 years. We had to cut out so many things in Oklahoma, such as art, music, tech ed, AP classes at some of our districts. That's why teachers are walking. We have to have fundraisers at our schools to buy replacement bulbs for our smart boards. You know, part of that also is the scam of the administrations. Right? I go to the school, my daughter's school across the street, Taj Mahal. Man, is it a big, beautiful, shiny school. All kinds of people working around there that there were never jobs like that when I was going to school, ever. The assistant to the assistant to the assistant, assistant's counselor's assistant, right? There's so many employees there. And maybe the teacher should be making more money. But then what they did was, well, you know, if we don't get more money, we're going to cut stuff that people like. We're going to cut sports, or we're going to cut band, or we're going to cut shop class. And then they forced these kids, and I know a lot of that was that No Child Left Behind that George Bush did with Teddy Kennedy, and that sucked. It did. And the Common Core stuff sucks too. And by the way, I have taught classes. I have taught at a school. I've taught at private schools. I know what it's like. One of the things I find so funny is I'm not able to teach at a public school because I don't have a degree. Nor can I teach at a university because I don't have a degree. Now, I remember that my college professor in broadcasting had 1 month of an internship 20 years before I went to college. Had absolutely no idea what was going on in the industry. None. It was a complete waste of time for most of the people in my college. Yet he was a doctor in communications. Had no idea what he was talking about. This is the problem. It is perpetuating the myth that education is the be-all, end-all. Sometimes it's about doing, achieving. Isn't it, or am I wrong? Jabari says, teaching 30-plus kids at a time is nearly impossible. You have to take a lot of work home with you, grading papers, doing lesson plans, etc. Good. Is that a surprise? You got that. You went through college 4 years. This girl went through 2 masters. I don't know how long that took, right? And she finishes it up, and she goes to school on the first day, and she goes, what? I got to grade papers? What? And take stuff home? Are you kidding? You didn't know that going in? Okay. Bonnie says, are you for real? My son is an 8th grade teacher. My daughter-in-law is a teacher. They work hundreds of hours on their own time. I'm a school bus driver of 20 years, $18,000 per year, no medical benefits. Bonnie, I don't know anything about a bus driver. I'm just telling you the facts. It's Oklahoma that walked out, and I'm telling you the facts of the salaries. I didn't make it up. I didn't know what they had. I went online. I saw from their own schools. Average Oklahoma Watch. Teacher salaries by district. And this was 2014. I don't know if it's gone up by now. So don't blame me. Let's see here. What about the classes that are just kids listening to a lesson off televised feed? I think that's terrible. Again, I am not against teachers. I'm not against education. I want a good education system. What I don't believe is that the school districts are doing a very good job in managing their money. Their answer to everything is just gimme, 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 gimme more. And the teachers are falling into it, and the unions are falling into it, and I don't think it's right. That's what I think. There's a new challenge from the same people that did the Tide Pod challenge. Now the same people who are trying to take away your Second Amendment rights, they now have a new challenge. The same ones that are being educated by our teachers. They have a brand new challenge. Let's take a look. This one's called the Condom Challenge here on the Rusty Humphries Rebellion. So here's the idea. He's going to take the condom and put it in one nostril and then try to pull it out to the next one. You know what? I'm not gonna force you to watch the whole thing. You get the idea. And by the way, he does it. He does it all the way through the nose. That's the new one. That's the new one. I'll tell you one thing, and I'll tell you something else why I'm not that impressed with teachers today, is how many kids are just turning into brainless, mindless, liberal, not zombies. I really do. I'm so tired of seeing the indoctrination. If you don't believe in lockstep with global warming, if you don't believe in lockstep with every gay right, if you don't believe in lockstep with every single liberal idea, right now it's gun control. If you don't believe in every single one of those lockstep, you get bad grades, the teachers come after you, it's wrong, and I'm just tired of it. And Jabari, they are not pulling it from their mouth. Okay. Here's another one's got the left all angry. I don't know if you saw the video, but there is a video that's been out that came from Sinclair Broadcasting. And it was, I want to find it, but honestly, you've seen it all over the web, and I don't really have time to find it. But it's where you see clip after clip after clip after clip of TV reporters saying the same thing. And it looks bad. It does. But let me tell you what it is, and then you can listen to what the left has to say, these journalists. What they did is they had a mandate from the head of their company. And it was, I want on all of the my TV stations, I want everybody to say we don't believe in fake news, and they basically wrote something up. It's basically a memo to be read on television, and they did it on all their stations, and there was a big uproar. This is like Nazi propaganda. Oh my goodness! No, the Nazi propaganda is when you see on the TV on the left, CNN, MSNBC, Fox, on all of them, when the Democrats continue to spew out the same talking points over and over and over and over and over again, and it goes on for days and days and days and days until the next news cycle where they come up with new talking points and spew those out for over and over and over again. Okay? I know the news media is biased. What? Sinclair is a conservative-minded company. Okay, so they put this out, talking about we don't believe in fake news. We're not going to put fake news out. And the left, the outrage on the left. And again, what's so funny is they're acting like they never, ever, ever have done it. They don't know anything about it. They just want to stop it. Is hysterical here on the Rusty Humphries Rebellion. Let me show you some of the clips. I won't play it all because it's ridiculous.
Maybe in their 40s, 50s, and 60s. Those are the highest paid journalists in the market by far, especially compared to the women sitting next to them. I can tell you that.
All right, so she goes right for sexist. It's sexist too. I mean, she right for it. Oh, Mika, you adulteress. You Vinx, you vixen. You phony baloney. Continue.
For sure. And they should know better. All of them should know better. This is a really embarrassing moment for journalism. At this point, we can't afford to be anything less than perfect. We have to try and strive for perfection. And
these are the two that, by the way, went out of their way to beg Donald Trump to be their friend, and then when he said no, they turned on him. Right? These are the two that have been having the affair for years. Right? Those two right there. And by the way, they got no business. These two got no business doing the Stormy Daniels story whatsoever. Okay? None. But let's continue because she's so outraged.
Fairness every day. And this was a massive failure.
It's like something out of the movie 1984.
George Orwell online, too.
Orwelling.
Historians will be looking at this and saying the people who spoke out against the erosion of democratic institutions in this time were the ones who were on the right side of history.
It's not journalism, it's propaganda. Most of us have heard this kind of thing in, totalitarian regimes where somebody has to repeat what the government says. In this case, it's what the corporation says.
There has to be an understanding that this style propaganda has to stop.
Coming from MSNBC.
Which is a country that has an actual state media, and it rings very familiar. This is the way authoritarian states operate.
By the way, notice they're all parroting the same thing, that it's propaganda and that it's like an authoritarian state. They're going to throw out Russia. They throw out China. It's the same thing. Here we go.
What Trump and what now Sinclair is doing is conflating this idea of fake news, which is the purposeful manipulation and fabrication of fact, with stories that they find somehow unflattering. And that is really what's chilling to democracy.
And I'm sure
they're saying, trust us. We're fair. We're the ones that are honest. Don't believe the others. And that is sort of an echo of President Trump's anti-media messaging.
We conservatives mocked forever the Soviets.
Okay. Joe Scarborough is no conservative. Not even a joke. All right. Continue.
And the fact that the state would type out their scripts and they would read news scripts that were obviously repeated.
Robots.
Without, like robots were reading them. It does smack of what a sort of state-run media for an autocrat.
And Soviets.
What's false? What's fake? Absolutely something local and national television should cover. But allegations and then just repeating this word for word, I think, is somewhat dangerous.
Okay, they're so disingenuous. It was an edict from corporate. Corporate said, hey, guys, we want to put out what the statement is. And let's see here. I saw the statement. Where is it? I want to read it to you. But now I can't find it. Oh, well. No biggie. Let's see. Some more comments. I'm getting hate. The hate comments are coming out today. Rusty's evil because he says, hey, I think government's spending too much money. Shame on me. Shame on me. Let's see here. What do you get paid for sitting on your buttons and not bringing up all the issues the teachers have? Go figure. I didn't choose to do that job. I did it for a while. I didn't make enough money. I didn't want to keep doing it. Why is this so hard? I don't say I hate teachers. I'm just saying at some point we got to say, for example, in the state of Nevada, I believe it's in the Constitution that 50% of the budget, 55% of the budget must go to education. and still not enough. When is enough enough? At what point do we say enough? All right. I think I'm done. I think the silly comments aren't going to go away. And guess what? Unlike teachers who make less money than me, I can go, I'm done. Thank you, Jabari. Appreciate that. Everybody else, thank you. By the way, don't forget to follow me on the HearMeOut app. Just download it to your phone. It's real simple. Here Monday through Friday, unless I got something, Monday through Thursday, 9 p.m. to 6 p.m. in the West. Find the Rusty Humphries Rebellion podcast, iTunes, Stitcher. Also, a new edition of Orson Scott Card's We Review Everything should be coming out in the next couple of days with Orson Scott Card, the great author, and myself. You can find that also at iTunes and Stitcher and any place great podcasts are. That's it. May God bless you. May God bless America. My name is Rusty Humphries, and this is the Rusty Humphries Rebellion.